You think you know the story of Leah and Rachel, right? It's one of the most famous love triangles in the entire book of Genesis. But what if I told you that ancient meanings of their names tell a completely different and way more fascinating story? Well, today, we're going to uncover what's been hidden in plain sight all along.
So we all know the two sisters who married Jacob, but their names, we just kind of take them for granted, don't we? Well, those names hold a much deeper story, a description of their very essence that's been right there, waiting to be understood.
All right, to solve this mystery, you have to get one crucial rule about the ancient world. A name wasn't just a label, like we use John or Sarah today. No way. A name was a description. It was like a headline for a person's character, their destiny, or some huge event in their life. And you don't have to take my word for it. The text itself shows us exactly how this works. Check this out. When Leah's second son is born, the verse says the Lord has heard her. The Hebrew word for that is Shema. So what does she name him? Shimon, which we know as Simeon. You see, the explanation is literally baked right into the name. This is the key we're going to use to unlock Leah and Rachel. Okay, let's start with Leah. Most of the time, you'll hear her name mean something like weary or tired, but honestly, that's a much later idea, and when you look at the original text, it points to something way, way more powerful.
Yeah, later traditions tried to connect her name to being tired or, get this, even a wild cow. But these ideas just don't fit the structure of ancient Hebrew. To find the real answer, we have to ignore all that guesswork and let the story itself be our guide.
Okay, so our investigation starts with the name itself. In Hebrew, you've got 3 letters, Lamed, Aleph, Hey. It gives us that L-A-A sound. This is our blueprint, but the letters alone don't give us the meaning. For that, we need our first big clue from the story. And boom, here it is, our first major clue. After working for 7 years, Jacob doesn't just say his time is up. He uses a very specific word, malu. It means his days are fulfilled or completed. And trust me, that word choice is absolutely not an accident. The root of that word, M-L-A, is incredibly important. It doesn't just mean to finish something, like finishing a race. It means to fulfill it, to complete its purpose. And this is the critical part for our story. It also means to dedicate or to consecrate. So Jacob isn't just saying his work is done. He's saying his time has been dedicated. And now, for the key that connects everything. When Leah has her third son, she says, "Now my husband will be attached to me." The Hebrew word she uses for that is yuleveh, and from that exact root, she names her son Levi. Are you seeing where this is going? This illustrates the point so brilliantly. Who were the Levites in the Torah? You know this. They were the tribe set apart, the ones who were dedicated to the service of God. Leah's desire for her husband's dedication and the tribe named for that very desire, they share the exact same linguistic root. So, when you put all these pieces together, it becomes so clear. Leah's name has nothing to do with being tired. Her name is a description of her destiny. Jacob dedicated 7 years of his life, and she was the one who received that dedication. Leah means she who received the dedication. So that's Leah, completely redefined. But she's only half the story, right? Now let's turn to her sister, Rachel. Her name seems so simple at first, but it is hiding a secret all its own. Now with Rachel, things seem much more straightforward. Her name, Rachel, is literally the Hebrew word for a ewe, a female sheep. And the text tells us flat out that she was a shepherdess. So case closed, right? Well, not so fast. This is where we have to dig a little deeper. Yeah, the name means ewe, but what did the idea of a ewe actually symbolize in the ancient Semitic mindset? What's the descriptive quality that the name is really pointing to? To unlock that symbolic meaning, we have to break the name down into its most ancient building blocks, its Semitic roots. Think of this as linguistic archaeology, and this is where we find the real treasure. The process is actually pretty simple. First, we isolate the 3 letters of her name, Resh, Chet, Lamed, that's our RHL. Then we focus in on the central 2-letter root, HL, because that's usually where the core concept is hiding. Okay, now just look at the pattern that emerges when we check out this HL root across related ancient languages. In Hebrew, it can mean common or sand. In Arabic, instability. In Aramaic, dust or profaned. Do you see the common thread here? The shared meaning is unmistakable. This root points to things that are weak, common, unstable, loose, like sand, things that lack any kind of special status. This is the core essence of what a U represented. Now, let's add that first letter back in, the R. In Semitic languages, this letter often carries the idea of management, of control. Think of a shepherd guiding his flock or bringing order to chaos. So, we've broken down both names. We followed the clues from inside the story and dug down into the ancient roots. Now, let's put it all back together and see who Leah and Rachel really were. And here it is, the final reveal. We've moved from these simple, almost dismissive labels to profound descriptions. Leah is not the tired one. She is she who received the dedication. And Rachel is not just the ewe, she is the fragile thing that must be managed. Their names describe their entire relationship dynamic with Jacob. This completely reframes how we see the two sisters, doesn't it? Their names tell the story of their destiny. And it really makes you wonder, if this much is hidden in just two names, what other incredible stories are waiting for us right there in plain sight?